Hey yogis, welcome back to another 30-minute practice where we try to get it all in, even in that limited amount of time. So let's start at the top of the mat today, feet hips distance. Soft knees as you take a forward fold. Arms can dangle. Rock your head, yes. And slowly straighten each leg at a time. We'll give ourselves this time to lengthen the legs and to bring awareness to our breathing. Find full ujjayi breaths, that friction sound at the back of the throat. Keep the right knee bent to walk your hands over to the right. And switch, left knee bends, walk the hands over to the left. Neck is long and loose. And come on up to flat back. Exhale, let's step the left foot back today. Set the knee down, climb up to your thigh. Just take a passive couple moments. Let the hips sink forward as the heart lifts. Breathe the arms all the way up. And exhale, hands will plant. Step right into downward facing dog. We'll take a little time here, feeling around. Sweep the right leg up behind. Place your right foot to the outside of right hand. Take a moment, reach the legs away from each other. And step left foot outside, left hand. Come on into squat. Heart lifts, hands to prayer. Keep finding Mula Bandha on your exhalations. Pulling the root in and up. Going to warm the shoulders a little bit this way. Plant the hands down, elbows slightly bend. Rock some weight towards your hands. You can even maybe come off toes, maybe not. And then come back to squat. And we'll do that a handful of times. Go ahead. One more. And then back to squat. Root to rise. We'll sweep the arms all the way up. Stand tall. And exhale, make your way to Tadasana, but feet hips distance apart. Hands to the hips. Lift the chest. Exhale. Find that fold again. This time a little deeper. You could grab your elbows, or if you're very open, wrap your arms around your legs. Stay loose through the neck. Come on up to flat. Stepping your right leg back. Set the knee down, climb onto your thigh. Hips passively forward as the heart really lifts. We'll be squeezing the legs toward each other for activation. Arms open wide, reach them up overhead. Exhale, hands plant, step right to downward facing dog. It's all yours. Move around. Dig those fingers in. Sweep your left leg out behind. Place this foot to the outside of left hand. Take a second, reach the legs away from each other. Step right foot outside right hand. Find Malasana again. Your squat. Only this time, lock the thumbs, reach the arms up. Try to open this angle at the shoulders. Probably requires some good effort. That's okay. Let's breathe to it. All right, hands back to the floor. We got our shoulders warm. Let's do a few little playful handstand hops if you want to, as high or low as feels reasonable to you. I'm gonna do this by hopping up basically to Baddha Konasana, the legs, slapping the feet together, keeping the knees wide, a handful of times. One more. Back to your Malasana. Squeeze feet toward each other as you rise all the way up. Reach tall. Exhaling, Tadasana. This time join the feet together. Let's get established here at Tadasana. Connect to belly, to heart. And we'll take hands right onto the center of the chest, bowing the chin for a moment. Take a quick gaze inward. See if an intention arises for you today. Next inhalation, reach the arms open, reach up. Exhale to dive down. Inhale flat. Exhale, step your left foot back. Like before, set the knees down, but right away we'll sweep the arms all the way up. Dare to open the heart. Just an inhale. Exhale, hands. Frame the foot downward facing. Waving forward with it. Lower in one flat plank all the way to the ground. Savoring cobra. Shoulders down and back. Dip the heart as you roll over knees. Reach the arms forward. You could even grip the mat in front of you. Let's catch puppy to open chest and shoulders. Chin down if possible. And climb out from it. Return to downward facing. Sweeping your right leg up now. Open your hip. Bend the knee. Get some movement up there. Love to do this. Peek up and over the left shoulder. Try to see your foot. Now right knee will tap your left tricep, empty as you do it. Sweep back behind. Place right foot outside, right hand. Take a second, reach the legs away. This time roll the back heel down. We're going to do a funky pose, and that's just right elbow in, prayer hands. Okay? If this is too much, take your forearm to your thigh instead. Let's make sure we're not dumping into the hip, really pushing that foot down for some buoyancy. Let's breathe. Empty out. And take big arms all the way up to peaceful warrior. Play with your depth. You might even take right hand behind your head, lean into it. Straightening your right leg, reach all the way up, parallel through feet. Open the arms wide and find this fold. Hands will land. You can even spin the fingers back as you play with the depth and wide-legged fold. Come on up to flat back. Two options. One is yogi toe hold, come back into this fold. Another is a headstand. You could do headstand like tripod, head, hand, hand. You could even spin the fingers backward and play with this more challenging version of a headstand. Take what suits your practice today. We'll be up there for about 8 breaths. You can always be at a wall, practice hopping. Alternatively, you could play with crow pose. Always taking the practice and having it meet you where you're at. If you're upside down, let's slowly come down. On up to flat back. And pivot around to frame your right foot. Stepping into downward facing dog. Wave this forward, plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way to the ground again. Linger on a cobra. This time, if you want to, try crawling your hands back a little closer toward your hips. You can even be on fingertips. Squeeze the seat, point the heels up, and breathe. Slowly dip it back down. Come on over knees. You got a couple blocks handy, great. Take them into the picture now. If not, we're gonna grab the mat line in front of us again. Otherwise, we're deepening our puppy. Looks easy, but it can get pretty intense. So one way to deepen puppy is to take your elbows onto blocks, keep them shoulders distance apart. Take your fingertips together and keep some space between your hands. Sits bones roll up as you point the chest and throat down. Let's let 8 breaths go by. Right, we'll make our way out of this and back to downward facing dog. Making your way to the top of the mat. Folding. Come on up to flat back. Second side, step your right leg back. Set that knee down right away. We'll sweep the arms up. Take a big inhalation to make it happen. Exhaling, hands frame your foot right to downward facing dog. Wave forward, plank pose, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga if it's in your practice. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Sweep the left leg out behind. Open it up, bend your knee, and explore the range of motion up there. Look up and over the right shoulder. Try to see your foot. Knee tapping right tricep, get empty. Sweep out behind. Left foot plants again. Outside left hand, reach the legs away from each other. Ground through the back heel. Roll over to your left. We'll take this version of side angle. Prayer hands to the heart. This left elbow pushing the knee a little bit wide. There's some resistance. Long spine, gaze up and breathe. You can always take a modified form. Let's all be sure we're pushing into the heel, coming out of this left hip just a touch. Last breath, get empty. And then big arms take you up to peaceful warrior. Explore the depth. And lift the left toes. Even take left hand behind your head. Inhale, straighten your left leg, reaching up. Stand tall, open the arms wide as you parallel the feet. Interlace fingers low behind you. Could be non-habitual finger on top today. Lift the heart. Find this fold. Come on up to flat back and fingertips. All right, 2 options once again. So we can come back into a deep fold, this time by narrowing the stance. Another option is to take your opportunity for another inversion, and that could be really any inversion you're playing with. forearm stand, handstand. You can even move it to a wall. Once we're up there, we're going for 10 or 12 breaths, and then we'll meet right back here. So figure that out. And hop in when you're ready. I'm going to be trying just a handstand drill up to the wall with the chin tucking to help my shoulder alignment. And I'll try to gaze up toward my toes. And we'll slowly come out, meeting in that wide-legged stance and pivoting around to frame the left foot. Come on back to downward facing dog. Wave it forward plank. Stay with me because we'll lower all the way down and slide right into our back bend practice, starting with bow. You can reach back for one foot at a time or both. Keep some energy between the knees. Be really powerful as you kick through your legs. We'll breathe. And a complete release. Make a pillow and rock the feet. Option to take bow a second time. You can also take a camel. I'm also going to encourage that if you are able to grab your inner ankles, do. Inner feet is fine too. And if you're able to walk your hands up toward the shins, now we're getting into some contortion, so no worries if it doesn't happen. But if you're able to do that, you might find a little more freedom. Let's come back in. And then release, rest the other cheek, and rock your legs. Stretch one arm forward, and then roll right onto your back. I'm going to take a couple of more back bends. Since we've managed to get kind of open through the chest and shoulders, at least I hope. My options are going to be a couple wheel variations, but if you'd prefer to return to puppy, even take something like a scorpion, practice is yours. Let's set up and climb in. Taking rest in between, like by rocking the knees left and right. For this wheel, I'm going to try walking my hands a little closer to my heels. And then I'll place one hand on my belly, just one at a time. All right. So setting yourself up. Making your way in. And come on out to rest. Draw the knees into your side ribs. Rock left and right. All right, grab hold of your legs, start rocking forward and back. We'll do 2 finishing seated poses before a short Shavasana today. So I want to invite you into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Peel the door open. Push your pubis toward the heels. Let's be actively sending the knees toward earth. Okay, if you feel too rounded, you can come up onto a blanket or block. If you're feeling pretty good, let's fold forward. Come on up with it. Let's open the legs out wide. Okay, same idea. If you feel rounded or rolled back, climb onto a blanket or even a block. But if you're right on top of the sits bones or even forward of them, stay strong in the legs as you take your time folding forward. Climb this all the way up. Let's do one core strengthening move before we find our way into Shavasana. This one's going to be using blocks unless you just feel like you don't need them. You can also beat on knuckles or fists. It's not ideal. I wouldn't try to do it forever, but if you don't have blocks, that's all right. So we're going to cross the shin bones really tightly. The idea is to pull the knees into your chest. You can already do that seated. That might even be challenging seated. Point the toes. One day you're going to be tucking them right under your body. Maybe that's even today. So we'll push down, hands right outside and in front of the hips. Lift your seat. That could feel like enough, or lift one knee or both. For 10, 9, 8, 7. Do your best. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set it all the way down. Shake it off. Roll it out. And you totally earned a Shavasana. Let's recline all the way. Just for sake of time today, I'm just going to keep us here for 1 or 2 minutes to keep my 30-minute promise. You can always, of course, pause and enjoy for as long as you want to. Let's flare out the toes a little bit, get some energy flowing and moving between them. And then release the toes. Everything heavy into the mat. Bring movement back. And stretching. And climbing up for seat. So glad you're here, Yogi. Say hi in the comments. And see you next time. Stay in touch.